All right, so this is my favorite tape job if a patient is having any discomfort in through this big toe joint here. So maybe like pain with moving the toe that way or that way. They might have a little bit of tightness in through the base of the big toe here. Depending on what is going on, usually any irritation here, other than gout, is usually from poor big toe tracking. So if a patient is starting to develop a bunion, or they walk turned out, anything that's kind of torquing the toe out, it's going to affect this joint here at the base of the big toe, so that it's not gliding nicely like this. It's actually kind of being torqued this way, especially again, if you're walking turned out, you're kind of pushing off the inside of the big toe, whereas we should always have a push off on the front of the big toe to kind of promote proper tracking at that joint there. So this is my favorite one for any kind of big toe irritation, and they need a little bit of support in through the joint while we're doing some strengthening of that toe going out. So they're gonna have their foot in neutral. I'm gonna start with my two little mini strips. I rip the end and I'm gonna start it right up on the big toe. I kind of hold that on, and now I'm gonna pull, and notice it's kind of pulling the big toe more into alignment. So I'm gonna pull and then kind of plant it on the inside of the arch. And just kind of give that a rub here. And then I'm gonna do just another one, same size, just along the inside of the big toe. Pull. So again, you'll notice it's just kind of pulling it a little bit more into alignment, making sure there's no wrinkles. Then I take two longer strips, and this is where I'm going to actually start to support the underneath side. So this would be kind of our MTP joint, is this one here. Just kind of lifting it up almost, because I find with the torque, this will almost like fall plantarly, and again start to affect the mechanics of the whole foot. So I'm going to start to lift up on the head of the first metatarsal. So we're going to take one strip. We started on the inside of the big toe. Kind of angle it down. Now this is key. You're going to come down, and I need to be over the big toe mound. And I'm going to pull up as I come around. And then whatever I have left, and it doesn't matter how long this is, you can just finish off the tape, or you can just give it a little trim. Then I do again another one over that same pathway. So again, this is key. You're going to come down. Make sure you're on that big toe mound. If you're too tight with the angle, that's not really supporting the head of the metatarsal. So it's basically the ball of the foot on the inside. That's the head of the metatarsal there. We're going to pull up on it as we come around. And again, just kind of trimming what you don't need here. And that's just kind of supporting the first MTP joint of the toe. Last and final strip, just to make sure that all stays, is I take just a wide full strip of tape. Notice that I've been using halves of this, so you just cut it right down the middle. I pull full stretch under the ball of the foot, and then I wrap around like so, just to kind of hold on those thin strips on the bottom. And that's my kind of go-to big toe tape. I like this better than a toe spacer. So if any of you guys use toe spacers, I'm going to show you what they're kind of doing. So this is encouraging just a gentle kind of realignment towards midline, again, of that phalange on the metatarsal head. With a toe spacer, if I kind of jam something in here, notice, and there are little ligaments and intrinsic muscles in here, notice how that's kind of like torquing them apart. And so that's not actually muscles holding that toe into alignment. We're jamming something in, and it's actually like causing the little ligaments in between the metatarsals to splay, which we don't really want. So that's why I'm not a huge fan of the spacers as a long-term solution. I like using the tape as a little proprioceptive guide of where that toe needs to be so that it's going to help her track properly. But again, no taping should be done in isolation. So what she would be doing at home is literally little toe exercises to kind of help that big toe find midline. So she's going to bend the leg, just plant the foot down. And I would have maybe like a towel here or some kind of goal, and she's going to try to abduct the big toe without cheating at the ankle, and this is tricky. So she's using kind of that big toe abductors to kind of move it towards my finger and then go back to neutral. And this is hard, and if there's people with like really accentuated bunions, they won't be able to do this. It won't be a thing. So they might even need to help the toe, maybe try to hold it there for a few seconds and then let it relax. Yes, and see, notice and it's actually not too bad on Jada here, but some people, it's really pronounced, like the toe is here. So we need to strengthen these muscles here in combination with the tape. So it should never be just taped in isolation. So she would be doing some exercises to help strengthen around the big toe until she doesn't need the tape anymore and the muscles are strong enough to hold that alignment on its own.